At the end of the 20th century, many African countries, including Nigeria, finally adopted democratic rule, and this has been the longest stretch of democracy on the continent since the wave of independence in the 1960s. Now, years after independence, Nigeria still grapples with the issues around the respect and protection of fundamental human rights. It is against this backdrop that the Wole Soyinka Centre for Investigative Journalism holds a stakeholders conference as it makes a clarion call on the nation's media to take up the role of stoutly defending the civic space. News Centre's Niyi Omoniyi has details.
Avenues of dialogue with relevant authorities seem to be closing, an indication that the views of civil societies and individuals which act as watchdogs against arbitrary rule are not respected. To address this, the Wole Soyinka Centre for Investigative Journalism hosts stakeholders in Lagos, Nigeria's commercial hub, as it pushes for the defense of the civic space online and offline.
We do not want the space to shrink, we want the space to expand because it is a needed part of democracy. We need the people to have the freedom to associate, the freedom to assemble, the freedom to protest, the freedom to demand accountability, and we need a safe space to do it. So basically, we want to have conversations.
Preserving the sanctity of the civic space is important, and the media needs to be positioned as the channel through which these can be done effectively.
We want to reposition the media as the leader of the civic space, as a critical tool for every other party to use to hear themselves out and to use to get themselves heard.
The honor lies on the media to ensure that those stories or those information are adequately, interrogated, questioned by digging deep into the matter to say, okay, this one may not be part of it.
How can the people protect their rights, and what roles do the minions of the law play in this?
We have to continue to enlighten Nigerians. We have to continue to ensure that the right information goes out to the public. And we must also be willing to help those who may not be able to afford what it takes for them to enforce their rights.
We cannot thrive in a dictatorship. We cannot thrive in a society that is always clamping down on people who want to express how they feel about the government. I would hope that the government realizes that they are responsible to the people, to the Nigerian people, and that when these people speak up, it is because it is where the shoe is paining them.
It's obvious from all I've seen here today that the trust gap which exists, which we're trying to close up, is still there. We still need to do more to close up that trust gap. And based on the feedback I've got here today, of course, I'm expected to submit a report at the end of this program, and I'm going to include that in my report. We need to do more to make sure that that gap does not even exist.
The panel agrees that a collective effort is required to ensure the civic space remains safe and open, as it remains the bedrock of any open and democratic society. Niyi Omoniyi, News Central.